Our goal right now is to become the largest single property owner in America, and do it with partnering with individuals, regular people, not with Wall Street.
Money is useless until it's being used.
That's right.
And you always say, would you rather have $1 billion or a billion friends?
Yeah.
Both of those, to me, relate to this concept of cash flow.
Hey, Wall Street's been taking advantage of investors for so long, man. These people, they've wrote up $500 billion off their books as losses last year. It's not even reported.
Grant, welcome back to London Real.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me.
Well, let's talk about this because
I didn't mean to jump off so heavy.
No, but this is important because you were the very first mover in this concept where you went directly via your social media platforms to investors, and you built this massive real estate portfolio by going like direct to consumer. This had never been done before.
Yeah.
You even said the guys on Wall Street are like, what the hell? How is this possible? They didn't even believe you were doing it.
Yeah.
But you did it.
They think I'm a joke, dude. They think I'm a cartoon figure.
Well, but when they look at $4.5 billion, they can't say that's a cartoon.
Man, it's not a lot of money to them. Like these guys are, these are MetLife, for instance, that nobody ever talks about. They have, MetLife's probably got $890 billion of assets.
Okay.
Fidelity has $7.7 trillion. That's where I want to go.
Okay.
I want to go play in the world of teas.
All right. And change the whole model.
And change the model, right? Because rather than me sending my $200 to Fidelity, that's how they became or Charles Schwab. Charles Schwab's probably, I don't know, $2 or $3 trillion under management. What he did was he just made it very easy for people to invest. Say, send the money, we'll put it in a whatever ETF, which is basically just a garbage dump of stocks. And if people really understood the truth, like Warren Buffett's never invested in an ETF, okay? Not Bogle, the guy that created Vanguard. He never invested. He would never, ever invest in that, but he created a paper product that people could send $50 to or $100 to or $200 to, and people think, oh, I'm invested in the stock market. But you can't get the money out for 30 years. And I believe 30 years from now, taxes will be double what they are today. So why would I want my money taxed twice when I retire? So what we did, we created that platform and say, hey, take your retirement money, put it into this real asset, not a piece of paper, this real asset that distributes cash flow now, right now, not 30 years from now, that you can live off of, improve the quality of your life, buy a car, rent your place, buy a home, whatever. It supports people in their payments.
Okay.
And people are responding to it.
Obviously.
And the JP Morgans and the Goldmans and the Wall Street guys that they just basically ignored retail investors.
Yeah. Well, this is the problem. It's called the innovator's dilemma. I worked in Wall Street for 15 years, right? That's why I'm in London. I came here to do credit derivatives with all the institutions. So my clients used to be Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, and on Wall Street I traded derivatives. So I know that whole business. And funny enough, Grant, now the last 3 years I've gone in to crypto. What crypto shows you is how much the banking system rips out of the economy.
Yeah.
Between 6 and 8% of global GDP is stolen from banking institutions. And I always tell my students, and you don't even know it, right? They take it from you and you don't even know it.
Right.
And it's all basically a racket, is Wall Street.
It is a total racket.
It's a total racket. There's a lot of rackets out there.
There's some simple indications, right? When you drop off money at, let's say, a bank, first of all, you go there, they're open at 9 o'clock in the morning, they're closed at 5 o'clock. Most of the day they're closed. You can't really get anything from them, okay? You drop the money off. You can't get it on the weekends. If you're using an ATM machine at 4 o'clock in the morning, you know it's not good for you. They say they're going to pay you 1 or 2%, but the truth is they're going to charge you over 1 or 2% just to keep your money at the bank. You don't make any money. It is a complete racket.
Right, and they don't give you your cash when you want it back.
Yeah, if you want your cash, if you go in there
so hard.
72 hours later and say, I want my 100 grand back, you cannot get that 100 grand. You're going to probably wait 3 days to get it back.
Yeah.
So it is absolutely a racket. Not to mention, that's the first level. Then the second level is they're going to take my 100 grand, they're going to lend it out to 10 other guys. They're going to say that's $1 million worth of assets on their books. I think this year we had 300 bank failures in America.
Wow.
Okay? The books are so out of balance right now. There's $800 billion worth of debt coming due just in the apartment category. That debt's coming due this year, and JP and Goldman, all these big names have to pay. And so banks are tied to all that. Pension funds are tied to all that, and it's going to create a big opportunity, but in the meantime, it's going to create a crisis for a lot of people.
All right, so we're going to see big defaults. like '08, but not from the consumers, but from the
institutions, and that's going to require more printing of money. The U.S. is like $34 trillion in debt. I think I saw something earlier this morning where we literally need another $1 trillion. What was the number? Was it $1 trillion? Yeah, another $1 trillion every 100 days.
Okay.
To service debt. So every 100 days, 3 times a year, 34 trillion will become 37 trillion. 37 becomes 40 trillion. 40, what's going to happen here? You got to keep printing money. So where do I want to be? I want to be in real assets. Right. I want to be in Bitcoin. Absolutely. I'd want to be gold and silver, not so much for me because it doesn't do anything.
Right.
I don't get it. Right. You can always get more gold. There's more gold. They've been finding gold for my whole lifetime. So, and nobody's ever traded with me. And the real estate, the people got to have a place to live.
Right. Do you think the public is waking up to the fact that they need real assets? I mean, for the first time in maybe years, people talk more about money printing, talk about inflation. Do you think people get it, or your average guy?
Yeah, I think people are angry about it, but I don't think they really get it.
They don't understand.
I think they're like, they don't want to confront the scam. So they just keep saving money at the bank.
Right.
The best somebody's going to do is, I'm saving my money. You're not saving your money. Your money's going down in value. Not to mention the depreciate every time they print. By the way, I don't mind if they print. I get excited.
When they print money?
I love it.
Okay.
Because I know I'm going to get more.
Right. Because people have more money and they're going
to
You
got more money, bro. I'm going to get more money.
Right.
So print it. Because a hustler doesn't mind. Like if you know how to go get money, you actually want more money in the system. The other side of that is if you own assets, you want printing. Okay, wealthy people want the print because the print means the assets they own go up in value.
Right. The people that don't want to print are the lower classes and people with savings.
Yeah, because your groceries are going up, your rent's going up, your electricity's going up. If you're a saver, you don't want inflation.
Okay.
If you're an investor, you want it.
Talk to me about this upcoming crisis, because '08 was hard on you, and you're always really honest about how hard it was. And the conclusion you made, I think with Elena, was we were going to get so big where that's never going to happen to me again. And it feels like you've been doing that the last, 16 years, trying to get so big.
Yeah.
Have you done what you wanted to do? And are you ready for this next one?
I am definitely ready for this.
Because you're wiser.
Yeah, I'm wiser, and I'm more courageous. And I'm more confident in my strategy, right?
Okay.
And I just didn't have that then. I didn't have complete confidence. And that confidence just comes from doing deals over and over, making mistakes, and recovering from the mistake. Like, making a mistake is not really where I hear people say, hey, I learn most from my mistakes. I learn nothing from success. I learn a lot from success. Like, when I'm successful, I learn a lot. I'm like, dang, do that shit again. Like, go hard on that again. Do that exact thing right again. It's not it's not like wear that same underwear. Like, do whatever you said, repeat it. That activity worked, right? So I do learn something from success. And on the failure side, I don't really learn from failure like, oh wow, I screwed up. But I do learn because I picked myself up. And the failure didn't kill me. And that creates this, oh wow. It'd be like getting in a fight, getting beat up. If that's never happened to you, you're really worried about it. But once you get beat up once, you ever been beat up?
Yeah, as a young kid.
Yeah, I've been beat up many times.
Martial arts training, I got beat up a lot.
Well, there you go. So it's like, okay, once I know what a hit feels like, I'm not as scared of it.
Yeah.
It's because I know it's not going to kill me.
Okay. So you're going big now.
So 2008, it was like, okay, I just got played with. And a bank failed. A new bigger guy came in. They started pushing me around because I owed them money, and they started shoving me. And I'm like, and I had money to pay the bills. I was never late. The loan was technically a good loan, and they just started pushing and shoving on me. And I'm like, I'm never going to be in this position again. And the way to not be in that position is to own so many assets. I know this is very difficult and kind of out of reach for a lot of people to listen to. Like, how are you going to get there? Well, the same way I wasn't there 16 years ago, which seemed like yesterday.
Okay.
So
acquire assets. That's what they need to do.
You have to acquire. Don't buy stuff. Don't buy stuff. Okay. Buy assets, and own real buildings that you can control, or a real business. The buildings are better because the business is going to die.
Okay. Right. But the buildings won't. Is it true you make yourself broke now every single year or every single quarter?
Yeah, I do.
You take any extra cash you got and you put it into things you can't touch.
Yep.
And then you got to start again.
I'm into illiquidity.
You love it because it
I
pushes
love
you.
being illiquid because the banks tell you to be liquid.
Right.
Wall Street says be liquid. But when you're liquid, you're a target, right? So if I go to Starbucks this morning, I don't have any money in my pocket. So if we go to Starbucks, you and I go over there, guess what? I can't pay because I'm not liquid.
Right.
So I got to lean on my guy, Brian, and say, Brian, you mind picking this one up? I never have any money.
Right.
So I don't want cash in the bank. I don't want money in an account over here. I don't even want 90 days of savings for the emergency account. That's so recommended by all the financial gurus and consultants and whatever they call themselves.
Because you'll end up spending that on something you shouldn't.
Bro, look,
Not an
you're
asset.
literally pulling the law of attraction into you by having 90 days of savings.
Okay.
You're literally saying,
I'm going to fail.
I need an emergency.
Okay. It's well said, man. It's
I have to have an emergency. I have it funded. I'm ready to go. Somebody's going to steal the money from you. It's definitely going to depreciate. Hopefully you never have an emergency. So then it was just a waste and it should have been invested.
Quotes I always get from you is money is useless until it's being used.
That's right.
And you always say, would you rather have $1 billion or 1 billion friends?
Yeah.
Both of those to me relate to this concept of cash flow that you've pushed. As in, is it cash or is it cash flow? This is the story of you, I think. Mm-hmm. And yet we're all brought up to value cash.
Yeah,
Even in the rap
cash is
videos,
king.
it's like, look at my $100 bills, look at my 100 bands, is that what they call it?
Yeah.
When in fact, that's the trash. What you want is something that spits that out every year.
Yeah, well, every month.
Every month.
Because that's what my bills are due every month. They're not due annually.
Okay. And that's
so what I
pay
want
me.
is I want that recurring thing. I want that thing. So because most people are not disciplined with money, including myself. Like I'm not like you give me a bunch of watches. I'm going to admire them for a couple of days and I'm going to forget I have them. How many suits do you have?
A lot.
A lot.
Right. But I stopped.
Like, dude, I wouldn't
them.
go to your tailor just because I can't imagine managing all the suits. Like, which one am I going to wear today? It's just too complicated for me, right?
It's not that hard.
Yeah, but
you're saying everybody lacks discipline when it comes to money. So
of
just
course,
put it away from yourself.
So what I don't want to manage the watches, right? It's not that I don't like watches, or I don't want to have to manage them,
Right.
And I'm worried about the watches because somebody's going to come grab one or break one or whatever.
So mental bandwidth you would rather have working on your business, not worrying about watches.
I want a drip coming in every month. I want drips that are independent of me having to work. When my dad died, I was 10 years old. The money stopped that week. It didn't stop a month later. He didn't have, okay, we're going to give you 12 months of severance. When you die, bro, the severance is immediate. And so the income stopped. And when the income stopped, I saw my mom transform. I didn't know what I was seeing at the time because I was only 10. But there was terror. And she started, and I could feel her. She started scrambling. I got to sell the house, okay? We got to sell the car. We got to go buy a new house. She called it going down. What's that called? We got to
downsizing.
Downsize.
Okay.
None of this sounded good to me.
No.
We were out in the country, man. We had 2 acres of land. You know, I'm out running, having fun time. Now we got to go into the city next to the school, the prison. And I'm like, okay, what happened here? And as I grew older, I looked back and said, oh, the income stopped. Yeah, my dad died, but the income stopped. That dependable. Now we're all going to die. So like I've been planning since I was 10, how do I get income that I earn? How do I invest that in something so that it pays me when I can't earn?
Okay.
And to me, that is the most important money on planet Earth. Like until you're wealthy and you can borrow against assets, and until you're super wealthy, you don't worry about money anymore. I mean, the wealthy don't even have incomes; they just have drips.
Right.
This money coming in. And that's what I live off of. So I stay, back to your point about I go broke. I go broke I'd like to go broke more often.
Okay.
I have a bunch of money right now. I can't get rid of it.
All right.
But I would love to get it to zero because until it's zero, it could be stolen.
Okay. Stolen in so many ways, right?
Inflation.
Printing money steals it. Anything. You spending it on stuff you shouldn't.
The bank fails. I
Right.
can't get it.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody forgot we had the largest bank failure in the history of this planet less than 15 months ago.
Was that Republic Bank? Or
SVB.
Silicon Valley Bank almost failed. Well, it failed, really.
Right.
Yeah.
That was the biggest bank.
That was shocking.
And then it came over here. What was the big group that failed over here?
Oh, there was another one that failed.
Big name, dude. Massive.
Was it Insurer?
Credit Suisse?
Oh, yes. Credit Suisse, yeah, of course. Well, used to be one of my clients.
Like it's one of the biggest names in the world.
Yeah.
Here we are 15 months later. It's like nobody even knows it happened.
And stock markets are all-time highs.
It's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
All that's paper.
All that's paper, yeah. And
all of it's driven by 7 stocks.
Yeah.
True. Okay. So if you're on those 7, you lost money last year.
Right.
While rents went up 9%. By the way, for the last 40 years, rent increases alone have outperformed the stock market for 40 years. Without the appreciation of the property, just the rent. But most people don't do that.
Right.
They're like, I can't be a landlord.
And so this year, you're waiting for those things to fail, and you're going to come in and scoop up all sorts of distressed assets.
We're going to scoop.
And from traditional players.
We call it scoop and keep.
It's payback time, basically.
We don't scoop and dump. We scoop and keep.
We're in a similar situation where we bought the lows. And it's because I had a different investor base, just like you, of these people that never got access, so they never got burned.
Yeah.
And now we're trying to change the game in that sense. So I see what you're doing.
Yeah. And this is good for people.
Yes. It's
now,
perfect.
unfortunately, there will be people that misuse the system and take advantage of investors. But look, hey, Wall Street's been taking advantage of investors for so long, man. These people, the company Brookfield. I think it's Brookfield. I don't know if Ryan's here yet, but they wrote off $500 billion off their books as losses last year, and it's not even reported. It's a non-event.
Yeah.
And they're doing business the next day. They're like, yeah, that's $500 billion. All these groups that I've mentioned have no money invested in these deals. All this money is 100%, probably 110% raised from everyday people that have no idea what they're invested in. You have no idea what stocks are you invested in, what companies. You're just funding the war machine, the big pharma machine, okay? I mean, Kellogg's is talking about you should have breakfast for dinner now. You see that?
No, is that a way of saving money?
That's the new thing, bro. Bro, your Cheerios should become your dinner. And you got to know that they had a call with Big Pharma before that. Yeah, let's get them sicker quicker. That's going to be the new program, sicker quicker, forever. So people got to wake up to this. That's why I love your show, man, because look, you're getting sick because of what you eat. Okay? Like in America, my new thesis on America is with 800 million arms, nobody's really worried about how many weapons that we have in America because they're just going to medicate and obesity everybody so you can't get your gun. That would be the way. That would be the way to actually calm down the most armed nation on planet Earth.
Gotcha.
Through Big Pharma.
Right. And then Big Pharma is in cahoots with big media, which is in cahoots with big food, and banking,
big banks,
and the government.
Just listen to me, son.
Yeah.
Save your money at Wells Fargo.
Yeah. And it all goes round.
We're your
and
neighborhood
around.
community bank.
Right.
And it's the hypnotism in the ads. You can hear it in the ads.
Yeah. Yeah. But people are waking up a little bit.
A little bit.
Thanks to I'd say COVID, lockdown. Some people saw through the matrix.
Yeah.
And now they're starting to see it everywhere. I mean, people used to trust their doctor with anything they said.
Yeah.
People used to trick their banker with anything they said. People used to trust their senators and congressmen with anything they said.
Yeah.
I think people are now, wait a second.
COVID was a godsend.
Yeah.
I think COVID was a way better thing for people than people are looking at.
I think you're right. Because they didn't succeed and we could see it for what it was.
Yeah.
You could see a glitch. And now a lot of people, not everyone, are questioning everything. And now as you go to democratize all of this stuff, that's a way of cutting out these middlemen that have been there for hundreds of years, or since the Medicis did this in 1500s.
Yeah.
So I like that you're doing that.
Yeah.
You talked about chip on your shoulder.
Yeah.
You still got a chip?
Sure,
at 65?
Dude. Of course, man. When am I going to grow up? No, probably not.
Where's this chip coming from? And you always told me, you always said, how can I do business with you if I don't know you?
Yeah.
You know, and then that's all about you making enough noise to people know who you are so they can do business with you.
I mean, yeah, I think the chip is because it's being ignored forever, man. Like you know, it's either like, okay, I don't know you, I've never heard of you. We came to London to do these big meetings with a bunch of insurance companies. I'm on the phone with a guy today. We just flew in. He's like, man, these people know you. Well, these are insurance companies. They shouldn't know me. Is he really going to be at the meeting? That's what they're asking this guy. These are old 60, 70-year-old guys in insurance.
Okay.
Like, these are boring people, right?
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking. I haven't met them yet, but
They're probably
imagine,
watching this now.
well, no, the meeting. I'll do the meeting and then they'll see it. But they know me. Like, there's no way that doesn't help me.
Right.
Right. Now, unfortunately, 16 years ago, nobody knew me.
Okay. How do these guys know you? How's a 70-year-old?
I have no clue. His kid.
His kid. Yeah.
I don't know. I'll find out in the meetings.
Yeah, but that helps you. Yeah.
I think it helps me.
It does help you.
There's no way I go into a meeting a little known, even misunderstood is better than not known.
Definitely. Yeah. And again, I took a bunch of pages from your book.
Yeah.
You know, I learned a lot about this. And now when I go into my deals, they've seen me running for mayor. They've seen me doing this broadcast. And it makes everything 20 times easier.
Yeah.
Oh, blah, blah, I'm chatting away. Oh, by the way, I really like your content. Or
Yeah.
I saw you do this
Yeah.
or whatever. And then all of a sudden.
Even if it was negative, the first impression was negative.
Right.
It tends to benefit me.
Right. Okay.
Because then they're like, oh, dude, like, you're a nicer guy than I thought you were.
It's all part of your grand plan. At the end of the
Not
day.
really. Not really, dude. It was just a push and shove.
Okay.
It was just, okay, they ignored me. Okay, I need to try something else or go talk to somebody that does know me. And then the chip, you know, like the people that know me, I had a guy text me 2 days ago and he's like, he sent me a picture of my plane sitting at the airport where we park our plane. And he pulled up next to me. So, and I think he's got a 550. And he took a picture of the plane. He's like, man, I am so proud of your success. Well, he remembers me, bro, when I was 30 years old. I was hustling him for a $200 product. And he's the son of a car dealer. They extremely successful. And he'd been watching me for 30 years, flying commercial on Southwest Airlines, sitting in the back, working car dealers, working at 10 o'clock at night, calling on these guys, being mistreated by these people, being ignored, being rejected. And then he pulls up to my plane the other day and says, wow, dude. I mean, the beautiful thing for me, like the most exciting fans, if you will, that I have are the ones that saw the whole journey.
Right. Right.
You know, because him and his family ignored me. They ignored me. They rejected me. They turned me down. It's cool now, but
They should have back then.
no, they should have listened to me. I could help them. I could have helped them even then.
Right.
Like I had some good stuff to share with people, right? So, but everything was about a transaction then for me. Like I was hustling transaction. I even used the word hustle. It was a hustle. I'm trying to get money, man. I was literally like, it was clear. It was on my face. I was a predator. Like I was in the hunt, trying to prepare to take care of my family or my future family that I didn't even have yet.
Right.
And so it was a hustle for me and a grind. And they could see that. They could feel that coming off of me. It was very, very transactional. But fast forward 30 years, I'm transformed into a different person, to not just being a hustler, but finally an investor and a proven businessman.
Right.
And that gives me a lot of satisfaction. Okay.
You like that more than anything.
Dude, that's better than the money. He saw what I did.